Hey everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Leeds with me, GWFM. I'm joined today by Just Mike Players and Mattinho.game. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Cheers, Mike.
What's up?
Right, so first of all, Vidra's gone to Burnley. What a wanker. What do you think to that, lads?
Well, yeah, whatever he wants to do now. I don't care.
They're welcome to him. He's a greedy git. Sod him.
Yeah. But anyway, that's enough about Vidra. Let's fuck him off. Let's move on to the most important thing. What happened on Sunday afternoon? What a result it was, boys.
Yeah, cracking result. Cracking.
Yeah, very good. I'm very enthused.
Very enthused. You sound it.
I don't sound it, but I'm arguing with someone. I've put something up on Facebook and I'm arguing with someone about Vidra. So I'm listening to you, but at the same time, I'm telling someone to go.
Well, basically, I just thought, just briefly going into it, I thought it was a fantastic performance to start off the season. There's been so many poor performances in the past. Granted, last season we did all right under Christiansen against Bolton, but it was Bolton, and we all know how close they were to getting relegated last season. In terms of the previous campaigns, I remember us losing 3-0 to QPR under Monk. Before that, I think we drew 1-1 with Burnley. But I don't know, I was very buoyed by the performance. And it was just the fact that, the fitness levels just seemed out of this world, man. The way they kept running right to the end, I think epitomised by, I'm hopefully going to find this clip, but the double challenge on McLean, 5 minutes from the end. I mean, that was just the most tastiest double challenge, one after the other, I've ever seen, from Phillips first and then Berardi. It was just like, I cheered nearly as much as celebrating one of the goals, man. It just really got my blood pumping, everything. I had a bit of a semi on, and it was very pleasing to see, as you can imagine. Anything to add on that, guys, or any things that stood out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, it was really good performance, pretty much from start to finish. Even the goal we conceded, maybe a bit dubious, but yeah, it was, the high press seemed to work. Stoke just didn't seem to know what to do. That we were pushing them back further and further into the game.
Yeah,
they eventually, it took them too long for my liking. If I was a Stoke fan, that was to bring on Crouch. Really, I think when they brought Crouch on, it was a bit more of a different game. They did go route one, but if it's gonna win you the game, it's gonna win you the game, kind of thing. And he causes a lot of problems, which is something now other teams might pick up on, and so it could be a problem. I think Bojan as well, when he came on. I think both Crouch and Bojan, when they both came on, that seemed to work quite well for Stoke. But it was a solid performance. I think the new lads, either starting or coming off the bench, did perform well. Did exactly what kind of was needed of them.
Yeah.
And a little bit worried, obviously, the fact that Brady was playing centre back, but it's he
did all right.
He didn't set the world alight or anything, but he didn't really do too much wrong, and he kind of did what was asked of him. And it was I was just really, really pleased from start to finish. It just seemed to pretty much what he said in these in the interviews all leading up to the game, during pre-season and everything. It all actually seemed to come to fruition. You see managers all the time doing like lip service sometimes and saying kind of what they think fans. I never got that impression from Bales as a kind of like, which was good, and kind of he's kept to his word, and we've performed really well against a team which most people will have as favourites to go back up. So
you could just imagine him being like Hannibal from A-Team, going, "I love it when a plan comes together," or whatever. But anything to add there, Matt, mate, before we move on to the player analysis?
Yeah, pretty much just echoing Mike's sentiments. The thing that impressed me, obviously, the energy levels, the amount of chances we created, and also the fact that at times last season when we got into good positions, we sort of retreated back into ourselves somewhat, which, invited teams on, and that led us down the path. I mean, last season, if we were 2-0 up against a team like Stoke, one of the teams that are expected to finish highly, and they get a goal back,
your ass would be twitching, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd be like, all right, here we go again. They're probably going to score another one, and then they'll go on and win the game. But they had some, after they got the penalty, they had a bit of pressure. We withstood that, and then we were back on it again. And once we got our foot on their throat, we didn't take it off, which was most impressive. And against against what people said, the bookie's favourite to go and do that on the first day of the season. I was impressed. Obviously, there's still stuff to work on. There are still a few areas, and like I said, Berardi, he did okay. He did make one mistake, but then
He did,
Liam Cooper came up with that brilliant challenge.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, but overall, if we can continue on in the way we've started, then it's going to be a good season, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the players individually, not go too much in depth, hopefully, because it goes on a bit long. We don't really want to go too long all the time. But then we're going to move on afterwards to transfer rumours, and then who we'd like to see before the window closes, and then finish off with some predictions, which at this moment in time, we're going to try and do this where there's a points tally. And at this moment in time, Mattinho's winning because he's the only one who said that we were going to win. So... 1 point for Mattinho so far. So
you faithless bastards!
I know. No. I was trying to be realistic, and 1-1. Speaking of which,
right?
West Brom have
just
got
the long way around.
Yeah. Just saying that West Brom have equalised. So I've just seen that now. I'm got it on my phone at the same time.
Yeah,
so that'd be early stages, but that'd be a decent result for us, I think. But never mind. Right, starting off, Bailey Peacock-Farrell. How do you think he got on?
I think he did well, pretty much most things that he needed to do. Obviously, kind of penalty wasn't. Penalties are sometimes a bit luck, if anything. The only thing I did note down really was that at times he did look a little bit nervous from set pieces, like corners in particular. He didn't seem to command his area as much as I think as he could have done.
Yeah.
He didn't come for the ball every time, when I thought he could have done. I don't know if that's just again because maybe with his age, it maybe doesn't feel like.
Yeah, I kind of agree. You just started to chip in here, but yeah, you just struck my memory there. There were a few times they were hesitant to come out and left the defender to deal with it. Sorry, mate. All right, carry on.
No, it's fine. Other than that, I think he hasn't done anything wrong to cast any doubt on his position for the next game. I don't think on that performance. I don't think Blackman should come in at the moment. But it's a good performance, and hopefully we can just gain a little bit more confidence from it.
Yeah, I agree, Matt.
I mean, he made a couple of decent saves. Blackmire said, he did what he had to. I think it was a case that the defending was so good in front of him. It kind of maybe, we didn't see as much of him. But when he did have stuff to do, for the most part, he did what he had to. He did make a pretty good save from very close range. I can't remember. I think it may have been Crouch or someone, but it went straight against him. But that's you can say, it's. He didn't know much about it, but at the same time, you've got to put yourself in the right positions, and he was in the right position. So, like I said, I don't think there's any call to bring Blackman in just yet. He's not made any glaring mistakes, and I'm sure he'll get better. Because let's not forget, he's not had that many games. He, started towards the back end of last season. So each game he's going to learn, and each game he's going to get better, and hopefully, we'll see improved in performances. But not like the last one was that bad.
Yeah, it was a decent performance for me. I thought the one save I think stood out for me was that one where Crouch headed it across goal. I think it was on target, but there was I can't remember. I think it was Joe Allen just charging in. The Welsh Perlo charging in, and then he just tipped it out of his path basically. And I thought that was probably the highlight. Obviously, the one where it was point blank, but like I say, I don't think he knew much about it. But otherwise, a good performance. A little bit of hesitancy here and there. But otherwise, I don't think it, like you say, don't warrant being dropped. Let's just say that. So we'll move on now to Mr. Luke Ayling, a bit of a fan favourite at the minute. How do you think he performed, guys?
I think again, he's another solid performance from him. Didn't really do too much wrong. There was times when I think he may have drifted inside a little bit too much. He kind of got caught quite close to Phillips on a few occasions. Luckily, I don't think that. Stoke punished us too much in it, but there was a lot of times when I kept seeing him a little bit too narrow for my liking, and obviously some teams possibly could exploit that. But again, another player that definitely would be in my starting 11 for next time round.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't, like I said, he didn't really set the world alight. He did what he had to do. He got forward, he got back. It's a slightly different position, I think, that he was playing. I think he may be a little bit more advanced this season than what he was, say, at the early part of last season before he got injured. But again, let's not forget that he was injured for quite a long time. So shaking off a little bit of that ring rust potentially. But like I said, there was no glaring errors. He did what he had to do. And like I said, he's not done anything to warrant being dropped. Let's just say that. So I'm happy to keep him in there and for him to continue and hopefully just improve again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet, if I'm honest with you. But Like I say, I thought he had a quiet game by his standards. Got forward, like I say, got forward when he needed to, got back when he needed to. But I think most of the action or the positive like attacking play seemed to come more from the left hand side. In my opinion, it seemed that way. We'll get on to Mr. Big Bad Bazza shortly. But yeah, he like I say, didn't do really anything wrong. Pretty solid, and yeah, a surefire starter for next week. Next week, Saturday. Berardi is a centre back. What do you think?
Yeah, other than the kind of thing that Matt alluded to, I think earlier about the mistake he made. Obviously, luckily Cooper just put in an absolute cracking interception to kind of stop it going through.
Yeah.
2-on-1 situation. McLean probably could have took it on and cut the shot off, but for some reason decided to pull it back, and Cooper put in a solid interception there. But I mean, other than that, I don't think. As I said, that was my main kind of worry. That was seeing Brady in the back line. I was thinking, it could potentially be a red card here as well. There's going to be tackles flying in everywhere, which there was some good tackles from him. Most of them well timed. Obviously, do I want to see him in the next game? I think if Pontus is back and fit and ready to go, I'd obviously like to see him slotted him back in there. But saying that though, on this performance, if for whatever reason we've not got another centre back in or Jansen's not fit, I think he's easily kind of done enough to get another start there. And I don't think he really did too much wrong, to be fair.
I thought he did well. Like I said, I think everybody was a little bit apprehensive considering what we've seen from him in the past few seasons. But like I said, overall, he fairly assured. He did make his one mistake, but thankfully we didn't get punished for that. He put a brilliant challenge on McLean. I think it was. Got the ball, cleared him out. It was fantastic. Hopefully he continues and Bielsa maybe brings a level of calmness to his game. That's something that sometimes tends to go missing, the red mist descent and so on. But if Jansen isn't fit for Derby, then I'd be happy to see him start again, and hopefully it's more of the same, really.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I don't think he warrants being dropped. Just because I don't know, he had a decent game, so there's no reason to drop him, as it were. And he's not bad playing out of the back, is he? He's not. He's quite a good up ball, basically, long and short of it. But the one thing I do worry about is like I say, when Peter Crouch comes on, or it highlights the danger. He's not the tallest. The first time that either we get beat or we don't get the result we want or whatever, I think he could be one of the first out of the side with Jansen coming in. But again, Jansen's only been with us just over a week back from international and holidays, so we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, moving on, we've got Captain Cooper. What do you think?
Captain Cooper. Yes, solid performance from him. I think, again, he was kind of maybe a player that, I think had an okay season last season. Nothing spectacular. Some people, may have thought he would have been one of the players that potentially could have left, or, we might have looked to, try and get somebody in for him. But, he put in a real good captain's performance, I think. Very impressive. Good in the air. Seems very composed. Yeah, but a solid performance, and definitely 100% in the next game for me.
Very good. Took his goal well. Made that fantastic interception. No glaring mistakes, and that was the big thing, because last season it was a case that he made some pretty, supposedly high-profile errors that cost us goals, and when you start costing goals, you start losing games and points and so on. So hopefully it continues, and he doesn't have that blip, because he started well last season, I think.
Yeah, he did.
From what I recall, and then it kind of just went downhill. But then again, it sort of did for everybody. So him being the captain, it does have that little extra bit of responsibility. But like I said, on Sunday, he was very, very good, and I've got a lot more confidence going into the game against Derby, even if Jansen doesn't start. So let's just leave it at that.
And that's what's happening, isn't it? It's like all of a sudden this performance got everyone really confident. The thing with Cooper is that he's been a bit of a scapegoat, hasn't he? And I'll be honest, I've been guilty of doing this, where, like, for instance, when we had Bartley and Jansen together, if one of them got injured and Cooper had to play, well, I'd just straight away go, well, that's one goal head start for them already. But hopefully, Bielsa, all the managers have seen something in him. And not only that, they've seen enough in him to make him captain. A couple of them have not changed it, really, as such. I think I don't know if Ekibottom made Hernandez captain once or twice, but everyone else in between have seen fit to make him captain. So they must see something in him, and hopefully he'll start to show us and make us stop getting on his back, basically, because it is one of the regular things you see in like the forums and wherever you see, or the Facebook pages or whatever. Is not good enough. He's a liability, this and t'other. But he has been in the past. Hopefully, in the future it'll change everyone's mind, and we can move on and all live in harmony. That'd be ideal. It's probably unlikely, but never know. But anyway, moving on to the only debutant basically to start, and that was Big Bad Bazza Douglas. What do you think to his performance?
Big Bazza D. Yeah, solid performance from him. I've got here 35 passes attempted, 34 completed, 97% pass completion, which is insane, ridiculous. He got an assist. He was good tackles. There's a lot of time when he broke up the play. Going forward, I think he was really, really good. A lot of our play did come down the left hand side. I had a look at the heat map after, and it's far more down the left hand side than anything down the right.
Yeah.
It put in Tylus for the whole game. I think he didn't stop once, and it was a really, really, really pleasing debut for Big Bazza D.
Solid, if unspectacular. Obviously, an assist, which was good. So we've got someone to take our set pieces, which was I don't know, one of the areas where, barring Hernandez, I don't think we have many people who you would call a specialist.
Yeah.
But he seems to. He did well last season for Wolves in that capacity, if I remember right. But he did his job. Good link-up play down the left-hand side. It was an area we needed to add to. We had Pearce, who has a bit of potential, but we needed someone solid, and it proved to be. He was very, very solid. But hopefully, as himself and all the other new sides get used to the system, because he came in late, he's going to improve, and we're going to see much better from him. Not that Sunday was bad, but I still think there's a lot more to come from him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't know if it were a bit of nerves early on. He nearly gave away a really good chance. I think Tom Ince robbed him of the ball when it was high up above his head. But he did well. He got straight back in there like swimwear and won it straight back. Well, knocked it out for a corner, but he got a great tackle in there. And after that, he just got from strength to strength. Obviously, gave away the penalty. We've had a look at it. Well, I don't know if Matt has, but me and Mike have had a look at it. I'm a bit dubious as to whether it should have been given, but I can see why it was, because the referee was not in a good position to see it. But it looks like his arm gets wrapped around his calf. He moves his arm off him, and then he throws his legs and goes onto the ground. So some people might say it's a penalty all day long. I'm not so sure. It looks a bit soft, but overlapped several times as well, and like you said, he never stopped, Mike. I think he said that. So yeah, I was very impressed for a debut, and hopefully we'll see more and better as well. So, moving on to midfielders /, with Phillips, it's like midfield defender, but Calvin Phillips, a controversial Calvin Phillips. What did you think, Mike?
I was Phillips for me was is a player which a lot of, I think, Leeds fans out there either a little bit more hate him at the
it's like Marmite,
the back end. If we can see that Calvin Phillips every game, he's a massive asset. But it's kind of like what you was talking about Cooper earlier. He was a bit the same last season as well. Like he'd have really good games where you think, oh yes, finally he's back to kind of his best, and then it just got off the boil for 3-4 games again. And
it's consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, that seems to be his issue. It just seems to be so inconsistent. We've all kind of seen the reports that Bielsa just took him under his wing a little bit, and he's got a lot of faith in him. So hopefully, with the right mentoring, and we can kind of see that kind of eradicated out, where his consistency isn't a problem now, and we can just see. I'm not expecting amazing performances every single game, but as long as he's not the reason for he's not the reason for us losing. It's still a very solid performance, and again, another player which has no reason to be dropped for the next game.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mattinho.
Good. Did what he had to, which is a lot of, we're going to be saying that for a lot of the players. They all did what they needed to do. There wasn't really big glaring mistakes here and there. And obviously, like Mike said, Bielsa's apparently taken him under his wing. So there's definitely, he sees something in him. And if he sees something in him, then there's got to be something there. But he started last season very well. He bagged 2 goals on the opening day against Bolton, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's correct.
We don't see any of those lapses in judgment and at those times where he goes off the ball and makes glaring mistakes which cost us points in games and so on, then I think he'll turn out good and probably will win a lot of people over.
Yeah, my view on him is that I mean, for me, he was up there in a shout for the man of the match. I thought he played really, really well. He looks so much fitter. For me, it looks like he's been working on his positional play where he needs to be and all that. Like, obviously, that probably ties in with the fact that he's going into defence quite a lot. So it's having that awareness, like you said, the vision to see you need to drop in and what have you, and making those decisions, at the right time. There's a chance he could have been sent off. For me, it looks like it could have been seen as a 2-footed challenge, and he didn't even get a yellow card. It was a free kick, and that was it. I was so surprised. I thought, oh God, he's gone, and then he didn't go. And I think not long after that, him and Berardi crunched McLean. So that was
yeah,
that was one of the most highlighting things I've seen in any game for quite some time. I would absolutely. I mean, a lot of people don't like McLean anyway, but just the fact he got up. To be fair, he got up. Right, Phillips destroyed him. He got up, carried on, and then just see on the same clip, Berardi just started to go into a sprint and he's absolutely destroying him as well. And he gets up again. To be fair to him, but that's what Leeds fans like to see. Like to see people, throwing the bodies on the line. If that means going into a crunching challenge, then so be it. And Phillips, it feels that he kind of fits that void as well, or that mould shows there, along with Berardi. But like I said, it's got to be controlled aggression. It can't be, get himself sent off because again, so many players sent off last season. It happened a few times. You need to channel the aggression the right way. But anyway, enough about Phillips. We'll move on to it kind of felt like another debut. Click. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying it, and I'll kind of just reiterate it. It is like a new signing because he just wasn't in and around the team that much at all last season. But yeah, from pre-season, I think we all kind of pinpointed him as one of the players that we were impressed with. And started the season with a bang, really. Obviously, it was great to see him get a goal. It was very kind of good vision from him. He's seen the fact that I think it was Peters playing onside. And great ball obviously from Sayes. Good vision for him to see it, but the fact that he kind of seen the fact that their play was so deep, played in between the defence and Peters, and great finish. Other than obviously his goal, I think he did really well. He dropped back when he needed to. He wasn't necessarily playing a defensive midfield role, but obviously when it was needed to, he had the two kind of in front of a solid performance.
Yeah,
did everything pretty much right. Definitely in the starting 11 for me next time around as well.
Yep, I agree. Mattinho?
I thought he played very well. I think the way he played, I think it complemented Phillips' game very well in how they went about their business. Obviously, took the goal very well. Like I said, it was a good bit of vision thanks to Peters just going completely to sleep. And yeah, I mean, he did. Like I said, it's like you said it. It's like a new signing. He did very, very well when he was on loan at Utrecht, was it? Yeah. So I think a lot of us were hoping to see that sort of form carry over and come in. And while initially we were a little bit, is he going to start? Because him and Ideguchi didn't look like they were initially going to be involved. He has come on. He has come in, and he's impressed. And the fact that he kept Baker out of the side as well. For the looks of it. I think it, speaks volumes about how highly he's thought of by Bielsa. And like I said, he's not going to set the world on fire. That performance, he got a goal, he did what he had to do. But I think it's just for a lot of these players, it's just this is the beginning. I think his nickname in Holland was the Penetrator. So hopefully we're going to see that.
I won't go into that joke again.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to see him. Because he's supposedly an excellent passer of the ball. Hopefully we're going to see more than that and more goals as well. Yeah,
hopefully so. I mean, I was really impressed with Click. He was up there as well for one of my choices for man at match. I thought he played very, very well, took his goal well. The fact, you're on about like the fact that it was onside. Yeah, I was very impressed with him. The best thing I could think about really to describe him is there was a lady, I can't remember who it was now, but she put something on it. We're on Twitter, and it said, if Click pushes Joe Allen any further back, he'll be playing with Liverpool. And I thought that was that was quite a funny tweet. That summed it up perfectly, really, how well he played. So I was quite impressed with. I was very impressed with Click's debut in inverted commas. So that was very impressive. Was it as impressive as Samuel Saiz's performance? Because for me, he was my man of the match.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I gave it to Sammy Saiz as well. For me, it was between Saiz and Hernandez for man of the match. I think he just looked so comfortable on the ball. Every time we had the ball, he was in space. He wanted the ball. He didn't look remotely dazed by he didn't care who was running out or anything. Quick feet, ran around for the whole time he was on the pitch. Just as we mentioned just a minute ago, great vision to obviously put the ball through for Klitsch's goal. This performance for me was one of his best I can remember seeing him in a Leeds shirt, which I know might be a little bit early to say, but if we can have that every single week, please, Mr. Samuel says, then I'll take it.
Please, mate. I'm actually got my hands praying.
Yeah.
Matt?
Fantastic. It's the Saiz we saw at the start of last season, which is what we all wanted. After his whole spitting incident, which we're not going to go into in depth, but he really went off the boil. But again, how much of that is attributed to the fact that I think he got the suspension and then he came back and it was a new manager. Paul Heckingbottom came in charge. So how much of that played a part? But I think when we got Bielsa in, a lot of people earmarked Samu Saiz as the one. He is going to be so brilliant under this manager because he likes that type of player. And that sort of role of player they seem to excel under Bielsa. So very good performance, brilliant vision for the pass, for the goal. And like I said, as soon as he got the ball, you were expecting something to happen. And I can't really say anymore, really, can I? Because I love it.
Not for me to say.
It was a brilliant performance. He's fantastic, and I'm glad he stayed. And long may it continue. Hopefully, I think he's got a good shot. I think of being not only the best player of the season for us, but I think he could go on, and I think we might have a little problem next summer keeping hold of him if we don't go up. But very good performance, and again, long may it continue.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the one thing that stood out for me more than all is his silky dribbling and his passing and everything else, because that's you kind of expect it from him anyway, don't you? But it's a case of last season it just didn't seem to work out. Every pass he did it where the other player had not read the pass or the situation or whatever. But not yesterday because it's a few days after. On Sunday, the one thing I noticed more than anything was the small things, like actually challenging for headers. I mean, he'd never done that before in his life, and I saw him challenge at least 2. So that's definitely progress. That desire, that
he didn't win either of them, though. But at least he tried.
That's what it's about. If you're not going to win the ball, at least challenge for it. It could cause them to make a mistake with the header, head it straight to your man, which that's what a lot of our play seems to be about. It's about winning the ball high up the field. If it means by them giving the ball away because of pressure, that's what it's all about. So you've got to challenge for the headers. You've got to do. Doesn't matter. I'm 2'6". Well, I'm not, but I might as well be. And I always challenge for headers because of that very reason. Anyway, the other thing I would say about Saiz is, for me, it's like he's like a roaming playmaker sort of thing, advanced roaming playmaker. He can go. Yeah. He dictates everything, and then alongside him, you've got Mr. Hernandez. What do you think to him?
As I said, it was a tough one between him and Saiz for me for man of the match. He just seemed to be everywhere on the pitch. His passing was really crisp, very direct. I think he had quite a high pass completion as well. Not as high as Big Bazadi, but still a good passer. If I was a championship defence of another team, it doesn't matter the only thing who matters who we're playing as our striker. I think if you see Hernandez and Saiz's name on that team sheet, I'd be pretty scared as a defender. Saiz was the type of player that would rival under Bielsa, but I think Hernandez is a very similar type of player as well. Very technically gifted, very wants the ball to his feet and wants to take players on and challenge, put them on the back foot. And as I said, very very close for me. Obviously, he grabbed a goal. Was a little bit lucky to be fair. Butland had a little bit of a nightmare with that one. If I'm going to be perfectly honest. Yeah. But really really good performance.
Yeah, by all accounts, we're singing to Butland, by the way. You just a shit Jordan Pickford.
I did hear that.
Anyway, sorry, Matt, go on.
I mean, it's sort of stuff we've sort of come to expect from him. Despite how bad we were under Heckingbottom, the one bright spot was how good Hernandez was. He was, he was everywhere. He was the driving force. And again, like I said, he took his goal. If you don't shoot, you don't score. It was a little bit fortuitous, but like I said, a goal's a goal. Doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it does.
Come off your ass.
Yeah, but again, everything we wanted to see him carry over. Work rate was again fantastic. He was everywhere, linked up very well with those around him. Again, like Saiz, as soon as he gets the ball to his feet, you're expecting something to happen. So, like Mike said, you see those names in your team sheet, and if you've watched that Stoke game, then you're gonna have a bit of a sleepless night knowing you've got to face them the following morning.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that I will say is about last season is a lot of people were saying that the reason why Saiz and like Hernandez, basically they said Saiz and Hernandez can't play together. I think we saw on Sunday that they can play together and they can play very well together. I think it's just like you say, it's just under the right stewardship in it. Bielsa's obviously a far better manager than what Heckenbottom probably ever will be, if I'm honest with you. Based on their histories. Move on to the man you've just mentioned about, and that's Alioski.
Yeah, I don't want to think of Alioski. It wasn't a bad performance. I don't think any Leeds player played bad. Obviously, I think he was overshadowed by the two players we just mentioned.
Yeah,
he didn't really do anything wrong. I kind of agree with what Matt just said. I think for me, if any player at this team is going to get dropped for the next game, it would be him, and I would agree for Harrison. But saying, is he deserving of getting dropped after that performance? I wouldn't say he probably is, because he didn't do much wrong. I don't think there was a lot of time when he kind of feeling away. Maybe he could have tracked back a little bit more for my liking. But yeah, for me, if one name on the team sheet was to be dropped for the next game, it would be him, and as I mentioned before, it would be for Harrison.
Yeah, probably most likely, I guess. Yeah, Mattinho?
Yeah, pretty good. I was a little bit surprised because he started on the left-hand side, didn't he? And last season he was started on the right. So whether, I think I've mentioned it in these videos before, having right footers playing on the left or vice versa, it doesn't sit well with me. So maybe Bielsa thinks, he's a left footer, stick him on the left. He's got a bit of pace. I think... it wasn't the best we've ever seen him play, but again, it's a little bit hard to say, as some of you mentioned that it did get a little bit overshadowed by Saiz and Hernandez, but no, massive glaring errors. But like I said, if one player is going to get replaced for the next game, I think it may be Alioski, but whether he's deserving, I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. I think if there is going to be a change, I think it may be him.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't think you will. I mean, the rule is you don't change your winning side, do you? But and to be fair, he got an assist to set up Hernandez's goal. Or as fortuitous as it was, it was an assist at the end of the day. But yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying, both of you, about the fact that it's it were overshadowed by pretty much most of the team. To be honest with you, I just think he was probably the worst of a very good bunch, as opposed to the best of a really bad bunch. So that's my view on him. And then finally, going of the starters, that is Roof. What do you think to his performance?
This is one where I might be a little bit opposite to you guys. I don't know. It was an impressive game, but he was a striker, and for me, he's not a striker. He didn't play a natural out and out striker anyway. He's a more unconventional, I suppose, a false nine, if anything you're gonna say. He drifted out wide, which was good, but then at the same time, we've then got no focal point. When you've got he's playing the ball into the box to Alioski or Saiz or even Hernandez. They're not the tallest players. I mean, I know he's not exactly 7 foot or anything himself, but on the plus side, he ran. He charged balls down. He played the high press really, really well. Bamford could start next game, and then he moves out replaces Alioski. That could be a thing you could try.
Maybe,
I still think he had no Leeds players had a bad game. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch by far. I think his work rate was, as I said, faultless. He just ran, pressed. When he had the ball as well, to be fair, I don't think he lost it very much. He kind of always got a pass off, which was nice. Even if it was a backwards pass rather than losing the ball, it was to mark him out of 10. I'd easily give him an 8. So a good performance, but I'd like to see him play more as a striker.
Right, fair enough. We'll get on to my opinion shortly, but go on, Matt.
Energy level is very good. I think his pace caused a few problems as well. like I said, he maybe drifted out to the channels a little bit too much. But personally, I think that he started up front purely because Bamford maybe hadn't had enough time and maybe, didn't want to say throw him in at the deep end. Wanted to give him another week to kind of learn the system. So I think Roof could be maybe almost a utility player for that front four, where he can slot it. He can maybe play just off the striker if Saiz is not there. He can play off the left. He can play off the right. So I think it was just this week maybe because of Bamford's late arrival, I suppose you could say, he was put up top. No glaring mistakes. He almost got a goal as well. So I think it's a pretty good performance. Like I said, I think this is what I said in the last video about having another striker, having another, say, true number 9, someone who's just going to play off the back of the shoulder of the last man. I don't think he can play that role. I think you can put him in there, but I think he's still going to have that tendency to drift a little bit out here and out there. But overall, good performance. But I think we may see him being deployed in various areas as the season goes on.
Yeah, I mean, my point of view, I just want to start off by saying, I think I ascended because I called the team. I don't know if you noticed that exact lineup that we've gone through so far.
Oh, right.
Called it,
all right.
player for player.
Yes,
So, just like get me lack of muscle out there. It hacks, yeah. But, yeah, basically, I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that he works the channels because it drags defenders out and it allows, like, the overflowing, like, attacking midfielders and, Click getting into the box and whatever. Like I said, I think you're right. The delivery was not great when he did get out wide and managed to get the crosses in. But he worked and he worked and he harried and he harried, and that's part of, I think, Bielsa's philosophy is to give the defenders no time whatsoever, force the errors. And I think, to be honest with you, before Bamford came, because we don't even know what Bamford's like because we haven't seen him, but Roof will run and run and run, and it until the end 90 minutes. And he got the man of the match from Sky. Because they basically must have seen that this was a reason for it, because he just basically gave them no time, forced errors, they get the ball away, whether it be a long pass, it went straight to one of our guys or whatever. But we didn't allow them to pass it out the back without a moment's peace. Really, it's clear to see what he's trying to do, and Roof fits that role that he wants. But I agree that if there was going to be a change, rather, that Alioski would be the only one that I would imagine happening, and then Roof, I think that's a good shout to be on the left. However, it would ruin the balance somewhat. So I think if it's anything, I think it'd be more like for like with Harrison for Alioski. I personally think that Roof will stay in the team. He'll stay starting because he got man of the match at the end of the day. So I'd be very surprised if he changes it. But I think Bamford will undoubtedly he'll come on at some point with Bamford. But yeah, that is going to be it for the first 11. I'm going to tie all 3 of the subs in one go because this is going on a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to do. Should have seen that coming, really. The people that come on: Dallas, Baker, and Harrison. What did you think to any of their performances, lads?
Yeah, I think Jack got a minute. I think Baker got 2. Dallas got about 15, something like that. I think they all did really well. I think the Harrison. I think I've seen that he had 4 passes, all of them completed. He looked it wasn't only a minute, so you can't really say much, but he looked like he could fit the role okay so far. Dallas was, he got into good positions. There was a few times where maybe he chose the wrong option or possibly put us under a little bit more pressure than needed to be. But I don't know if that's just, joining the game quite late on, not really having time to get up to speed maybe, played in numerous positions, so maybe, I don't know, again, what was it lost in translation of where he was supposed to be playing or what was expected of him, who knows that one. But it wasn't, he came on and did what he needed to do. And then Baker, 2 minutes, I don't know what you really say. He did what he needed to do, come on the pitch and see out the game, really. So, but yeah, all 3 all good.
Matt?
Yeah, pretty good. Didn't really see a lot of Baker or Harrison, although Harrison did almost get on the end of a cross. A little bit hard, like Mike said, to figure out what the intentions were for Dallas when he came on. No massive glaring mistakes, but I'd like to see maybe Dallas being settled into a position. But there's a possibility, because he's the kind of guy who probably will play wherever you tell him to, even if you tell him to play in goal, he will go there and put 100% in. So whether he's going to be, say, like Roof, I believe is going to be that the utility man for the front four. I think for that midfield and maybe the fullback area, I think Dallas may be the utility player there because I can't see him breaking past those guys on merit, I suppose you could say. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Overall, pretty good. But with Baker, we didn't really see much of him. We didn't have a lot of time to see much of him, and Harrison was okay from what we did see.
Yeah, I don't think there's really else I could say. I think when Dallas came on, basically I can't say what else about Harrison and Baker because, like I said, there was nothing really else to say. I think you just mentioned the fact that he nearly scored the header, but he just narrowly missed it. It came off his quiff, I think, or something. But yeah, in terms of Dallas, I think he came on as centre midfield, which I don't think we've seen him there before. And I think that seemed maybe a little bit alien to him. It seemed that way to me. And he nearly got caught a couple of times in like the left back area, if I remember rightly, but got away with it. I think he gave away a free kick or something. But other than that, like I say, he did what he needed to do. And I can't really think of what else really apart from that for Dallas. Really, not really spectacular. Not really deserving of a starting spot. And I think you've hit nail on the head there, Matt. I think it's like you say, you've got Roof who can cover all four positions up top. He can cover pretty much all the rest. Can hold Dallas with his beard. But
Anita then, surely.
Oh yeah, we've got Anita, haven't we? But
no need for Anita if you've got Dallas.
Exactly, yeah, that's the reason. Right, so now we are going to move on to the transfer rumours, and basically the run that I've seen that is rumoured to be going out is Mr. O'Kane.
Yay!
And what do you think? Is that a good deal? It's rumoured to be a loan, or we're after a $2 billion valuation. Get the words out, G.
Yeah, I mean, ex Leeds, legend maybe. I don't know. Bowyer.
That's controversial. I think some people think he's a, and some people think he's a god. Basically,
he was a good player. If you take anything else,
he's a great player
away from that. You take everything around him as a person, that kind of thing, away from it. On the pitch, he was a very talented player. But I think if he wants to go, I can't see him from what we've just seen. And even if you look at the depth we've got now in positions and other transfer rumours coming in, he's not going to get played, is he? He's going to be very, very hard for him to push for that. Bench or anything. I don't think he'll make the 11 at all this season.
Definitely not. I don't think. Matt.
As long as he at Leeds, I don't care where he goes. That's pretty much it. That's it. He showed last season he's looked a little bit disinterested. He didn't play well, and it was one of the ones earmarked to go. So the fact that he's finally going is good, and good luck to him. Nothing against him on a personal level, but I just don't. I think maybe this league and maybe this system is a little bit beyond him. So hopefully he can go there and impress, and then head there permanently.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we signed him, I was quite buoyed actually because he, part of the Bournemouth side that went up, which they defied all odds. And I don't know, maybe the expectation level of our fans maybe got to him. I'm not sure. I think the final nail in the coffin for him, for me or for most fans, was when he got sent off against Ipswich for the headbutt. I think that was it for a lot of fans. He's just not good enough, unfortunately, for what we need at this moment in time. He tried his best, I think, up until he said he looks a bit interested. But I think when he first came, he tried his best, but he just wasn't good enough, really, in my opinion. Moving on to the other transfer rumours that we've seen, the most notable one I've seen for coming in is Oliver Norwood, a former dog botherer, of course. I think did I read that? Did I read right? Was it for about $1.5 million or something? Did I read that right? I can't remember.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think to that one?
I mean, obviously, if O'Kane's going, then I don't.
This is the thing. I can't see the reasoning because it's like
it doesn't really make sense, I suppose, because we don't need covering that position really. I mean, even if we lost O'Kane, you've still got Anita can play there. Dallas we've just seen can potentially play. We've got Baker as well. Klitsch can play. Philip, we've got
Forshaw to come back.
Forshaw once he's back off injury. I mean, we've got a lot of players who can play in that position too. I don't know what he adds that we haven't already got. I don't think he adds anything extra anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that, Matt.
Yeah, pretty much the same sentiment. Honestly, I haven't seen much of him, so I know he's a midfielder, and he's played for various sides. He's played for Reading, on loan at Fulham last season. He did okay there from the looks of it. But yeah, I mean, it's not like Mike said. It's not bringing anything new to the team that we don't already have. So I'd rather, if we were going to do it, maybe do it on loan and then do it rather than splash the money on him. But you never know. I mean, if Bielsa sees something in him, then obviously there must be something there. What that is, it remains to be seen, and how he's going to be deployed and so on. But yeah, I think for me personally, if they left the decision up to me, I'd say no.
Yeah, I think I'd be in agreement with both of you to some extent. I think no for outright. I think on loan would be a good idea to see how he actually fits into the system, and then maybe see about signing him afterwards. Maybe the only thing I can think of is it's a different like option in terms of if we're trying to pass it out and play it out, short passing. Maybe we want, like, you know, we'll talk about England. We're wanting John Joe Shelby in there. He's got that ability to pick a long pass out for someone running through. I just can't see us doing that. He's wanting to stick to one philosophy and one philosophy only. So, like I said, I'm not entirely sure what it would add to the team. There's no question he's a good player, but is he better than what we've got? Like you've mentioned, probably not. Probably at a par at best. Like it's like how else we're signing someone for the sake of like 7 or 8 weeks for Forshaw to come back. And that's why a loan would make more sense. Moving on to the one of the others rather is Marcus Maddison. I think I saw 2.5 million. I think I saw earlier on today. I don't know if that's true. What do you think, Tim? It's in from the Posh.
Yeah, Peterborough. He's a very talented player. I don't know how he'd kind of convert. Well, saying that though, you know, he's coming from a different league. Roof kind of settled in quite quickly at Leeds when he kind of came up and was. You know, good player. He's again though. It kind of seems to me another player where we in a position we don't really need him. For me, he's simply being brought in as a depth player. He's not. I don't see him pushing for the first team as such. Yeah. Well, he could do, but on the performance that we've just seen, from what I've seen of Maddison, he's a very, very similar player to what we have already got. So again. He's not really a player that I don't think adds anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think to some degree. But go on then, Matt, mate. What do you think?
I really like this potential signing.
Yeah, you've always got that up for him, haven't you?
I've been wanting him to come for a while. I would have liked to got him and Marriott, but yeah, I mean, he had a very good season last season. I think he got 12 goals and something like 23 assists. I think it was
pretty impressive, to be fair.
And he can play numerous. He can play through the middle. He can play on the wings. And for 2.5 million, I think it's a bit of a bargain. Yeah, I think it's worth the risk, and it's a release fee as well. So it's not going to be a case we go to Peterborough and they're asking for 5, 6, 7 million. He's got a 2.5 million pound release clause, from what I've heard. So if we get him in, I'll be very happy. And I think it will set us up nicely depth wise for that front four area.
Yeah.
Also, if we're getting the 2 million for O'Kane, if we're getting that 2 million for O'Kane going out, then
pretty much funds it.
That's
£500,000. Yeah,
£500,000. Which, to be fair, when you put it like that, as I said, I do think he's probably going to be more of a depth player, but I'd rather have him as an option rather than maybe playing Dallas. Maybe because it's not his more natural position.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that Bielsa were wanting like basically 2 11s. It's kind of very much how I like to play Football Manager, having 2 11s. And they all need to be competitive, don't they? They need to be at a high enough standard. Obviously, for Hernandez at his age, you wouldn't expect him, I would imagine, not to play. Especially in the two games in a row. I'm thinking more in the midweek games as well. But I don't know. I mean, like you say, it's more of a depth signing. But when you work it out like that, there's nothing to say we're going to sell O'Kane for £2 million. But if we did, like say £500,000, it would be pretty much a bargain for someone who got that amount of goals and assists last season. That's quite impressive, to be fair, Matt. I didn't even know that, if I'm honest with you. I didn't know how many he got. But yeah, it's a bit like when Roof signed. He got a lot of goals and assists, didn't he? So I don't think he started as quick as what you thought, Mike. But I know now he's like pretty much a regular in our side. So, but we'll have to wait and see. It's only a rumour at this moment in time. The one that's most likely is the Oliver Norwood one. But the other one that we've been linked with, it seems, is Denier. I can't remember his first name. Is he still at City? Or is he in Turkey now? I can't remember now. But he has played for City, I think. Belgium, I think he's from.
Yeah, the centre back, isn't he?
Yeah, £8 million, I think I've seen has been quoted.
8 million. Okay, yeah. No,
expensive.
obviously, we do. Yeah, it is expensive, especially for. To be fair, he was on loan at Sunderland, I think, at one point. I think he has played for Sunderland. Yeah, no, it was Sunderland. Sunderland, August 2016 to May 2017.
So the relegation season.
Yeah, also been to Celtic. So played, 24 games, 22 starts, 2 yellow cards. Yeah, so I don't know. I've not really seen much about him, to be fair. He looks like a big unit, but again, I can't really base that on much. I think that price tag, though, is purely because he plays for Man City, not based on anything else. Because I'm looking at his stats here, I can't see where £8 million is coming from in terms of anything. I mean, he was on loan at Galatasaray last time round. Seemed to do okay, but nothing.
Galatasaray.
Another favourite of Leeds fans.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't take that. 8 million's far too much. If it's a loan deal, and we've got no other options, then maybe. But that'd be a no for me.
I think 8 million quid's too much. I mean, granted, he has played. He's got a few caps for Belgium. He's got 8 Belgium caps, full blown caps. Played for Celtic, Galatasaray, a couple of seasons. Sunderland, less said the better there. But I haven't. I don't think many Leeds fans have seen enough of him to warrant an 8 million fee. If it's on loan with a view maybe to a permanent deal, depending on how he gets on, then yes. But if it's 8 million straight cash, then I mean, for that sort of money, we can go and get someone that we were talking about before, and Thomas Callas, who is proven at this level. 25 years of age, obviously did it for Fulham. Not really going to get a look in at Chelsea. That would be my personal option, but we definitely do need a centre back. But I think there are better options out there than Jason Denayer.
Yeah, Jason, that's where it was. Yeah,
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of Jason Derulo when I saw it. It's Jason Denayer. Of course, it was that. But exactly.
Who does he play for?
Exactly. 8 million quid is very steep, I have to say. The one thing I will say is, I think if we are going to sign anyone, obviously we'll link with like Oliver Norwood, but I think he did say in the press conference beforehand that he said that he'd be happy to see another defender come in. In the press conference. So I think if anything is going to happen, it's going to be a defender. But like you say, I think it's more likely to be a loan. But it's just some of the numbers that have been touted on. I even saw 10 million, I think, for Denayer at one point. I'm like, it can't be worth that much. We're not going to. I don't think we're going to go out and spend that sort of money. Like I say, he's happy with the squad regardless. But he said he wouldn't mind seeing another defender in. So for me, if that's the case, it's got to be a loan. Surely you wouldn't just pay out money for someone unless it's going to substantially improve your team. Janssen comes in. If Cooper continues to play like he did the other day, then surely it's just going to be like depth players. But it's got to be someone that's going to make him take the captain out of the team, basically. And it might take a lot. I mean, it's going to take us on now to the last couple of parts of the video, and it's to try and involve you guys. Who would you like to see us sign before the window closes on Thursday, which hopefully this video will be out before Thursday. Looking at how long it is, it might not be, but I'll try my best. But yeah, obviously, I mean, I'll start with mine. A while ago, there was a tweet that followed Jamal Blackman. It was Kenneth Omaru. He's a Nigeria international, and it's very unlikely. But I know he's a beast, and I'd love him to come to Leeds, but he's probably not going to do. But he's otherwise known as Big Ken to me. Michael, who would you like to see? Has he already been mentioned by any chance?
Yeah, that's what I do. So Thomas Callas, I think I think he would do well. He played in the Fulham team last season. Did really well for them. He's got championship experience, as Matt mentioned. He's at Chelsea at the moment. He's not really looking there, is he? He's not going to. He might make the bench maybe twice this season. He might make a few cut matches, but other than that, he's not going out there. Reports are in the region of it would cost us £10 million. However, the deal reportedly, which I don't know how true any of this is a loan deal with an option for a permanent deal in January for the £10 million if we're happy with his performance. Training with Chelsea players, so he's got good background, and as Matt mentioned, he's only 25 as well, so that's a good age to hopefully get him in now and teach him our philosophy, and hopefully have him for a good few seasons.
Yeah, and Mattinho, what's your choice, or is it the same?
I would say we've already. I think it's a given we're going to get a centre back, but the other area that I think we really do need to strengthen and have another player's worth of depth in would be the striker position, because if Bamford goes down, we haven't really got anyone that can play that true number 9. Well, as we mentioned, we don't think Roof is suited to that role. You could potentially bring Edmondson in there, who just signed a new contract today. Yeah. I think in terms of naming names, I don't know. Danny Ings, is that a bit ambitious?
Danny Ings, yeah.
But I think we definitely need another, a true number 9 sort of, striker who's just going to purely play off the shoulder of the last man and, create problems there. But barring that, I think a centre back is a necessity, and and Marcus Maddison is also a necessity. So we can just go those. Get him in.
Just before we start recording, I was talking to G about again, it's from the Guardian, so I don't know how much you can read into this. But supposedly Leeds were going in for a late deal for Adoma from Villa.
I don't know about that one, because isn't he about 30-year-old?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a bizarre one, that. But on yours, Matt, mate, it's a little bit optimistic as in Danny Ings yesterday, because he. I can't remember if I saw this, or it might have been our lass's brother. He's a Liverpool fan, and he was saying that it looks like Ings is going to be leaving, and the fee is going to be about 22 million. I don't think that's going to be happening with us somehow. No. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we'll move on to the final part. So obviously, it'd be interesting to see who you want to see us bring in the comments below, but also the predictions, which obviously, like Mattinho's got 1 point, and me and Mike are on none. We're going to just do the 1 point every time. What is your prediction? In fact, I'm going to say it now. If you get the score right, it'll be 2 points. But if you get the win, just to make it a little bit more
bonus point,
a bit more tasty. So predictions for Derby County. What score do you think it's going to be, Mike?
Right, okay. Obviously, mine was shocking last night. I didn't mean any disrespect to the Leeds faithful.
Yes, you did.
No, it's just because I looked at that defence and I was thinking, oh my God, this could be potentially a nightmare for. But I did it because I knew they were listening. And I knew it'd spur them on to put in a better performance.
It's all thanks to you, Mike.
So if you want to send all your checks and PO boxes in the description down below. No, I'm going to go for a realistic and positive performance, obviously from what we've just seen. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Leeds United. I don't think we'll concede.
I don't think we'll concede. That's a bit of a bold statement, Mattinho.
I'm going to go one better, and I'm going to say Derby 0 Leeds 3.
3-0, really?
Yeah. I think, like you said, they looked a little bit shaky at the back against Reading, and Reading are not expected. They're one of the favourites to go down, I believe, if I remember correctly. So to just squeak through, I think going into this game with our sort of tempo, if we can carry it over from Stoke, then I think we could. I think we could grab some 3-0 and maybe more. So that's my prediction, 3-0.
Right. Well, I'm going to be a little bit maybe in the realist. 2-1, I'm going to say, to us. We've got to be careful because they have got that handy player in Tom Lawrence, haven't they? And
David Nugent. Oh.
Yeah, not David Nugent and his massive chin. He basically set up the winner right at the last minute. That means that they're with Lampard at the helm, that they're going to have the never say die attitude, because that's what they showed against Reading. And I like I say, I watched that game. Reading were a far better team, especially in the first half. Richard Cure's a load of shite. He was giving the ball away left, right, and centre, just under no pressure. We're going to be putting pressure on him unless they get a different centre back in. Then I think we could get some joy out of pressuring him. Sound like Sean Connery. But, he's for me. He's the one who I would say would be the weak link in the terms of how we play, and if we can, use that to our advantage, then I can see us winning. But I've still got unless like Janssen comes in, I'm not still 100% confident that set pieces, like for instance, because they have got a couple of big lads in that team. They've got Curtis Davis, haven't they, in defence. I think it depends if Huddleston's available. I don't know, but like I say, a couple of big lads. We showed against Crouch, basically Crouch, not so much Stoke, but Crouch, that our weakness is going to be set pieces and long balls, and I can see us getting hurt at least once. But I'd like to think we'll outscore them and we'll beat them 2-1. But that's my prediction. So, what is your predictions? Let us know in the comments below. It would be greatly appreciated if you could go ahead and do that. And yeah, hopefully I can get this out before Thursday for the January transfer window. Okay, the end of the summer window. Yeah. And yeah, it's hopefully been an enjoyable one. But thank you very much for joining us once again, Mike and Matt. I suppose it's time we let you pimp your channels. Mike?
Okay, before I pick my channel, I just want to say that this one thing that I did note down that I haven't mentioned, that in the obviously they had the post-match interviews, and supposedly it was the first time in 20 years that Bielsa's actually ever come out and did a post-match interview.
Really?
As a manager, yeah, he just doesn't do them. Channel-wise, yeah, I haven't actually uploaded. I've uploaded 2 videos in one day actually, which is I don't know why I did that for. Should have just kept them back.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I have got a series ongoing. It has been going now. I think it's 11th episode, but it's an interactive series.
It's a record.
I know, yes, absolute record for me. It's in its 11th episode, and it's been ongoing for a while now. It's a subscriber-based one with it's an interactive save where they pick players and they score points, all this kind of thing. So unfortunately, you can't join in because it's too late now. We're already into our 11th season. But you can give it a watch. I also have my, I don't know if I've mentioned, but I support New England Revolution as well. It's a team in MLS. I do a podcast. That's on its 12th episode as well. So yeah, other than that though, it's really consistent. But if you do want to check it out, link is in the description down below.
Yeah, sounds like you've been busy, Mike. Yeah, Matt?
I do racing content. It's been a bit slow lately because I've had this whole, not my wedding, but my best mate's wedding, and I had a hot, obviously stag do, and then there was the wedding, and it's been the heat has not helped either. But if you enjoy your racing content and a little bit of Football Manager, then come and see my channel
and build a PC.
Oh yeah, I still got one more video of that to go.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, me basically just fumbling around like a blind man trying to drive a car or something. Yeah, so that's fun. But I think we got one or 2 episodes of that left. But yeah, barring that, I do racing stuff, and I'm awesome.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a good laugh, I think, of this one. Everyone's spirits seem to be lifted after that performance. Not to be biased, but I personally think that our performance, based on all the ones that have been on TV, I think ours has been the best. And it's not biased review, it's just the way we played. And you've got to take into account it was Stoke City, a team that came down from the Premier League, hardly sold any of the best players. In fact, just one, Shaqiri, that's it. Everyone else has come down. They've actually made big signings. Benica Phoebe, he's another one. So I just personally think that our result should have been the result of the weekend. But apparently the EFL chose their team of the weekend. I don't know if you saw that, just briefly ending on this, and not even one player or the manager was picked for any of the team EFL team of the week, which I thought was a bit harsh. But anyway,
boo!
Exactly.
You don't love us, you hate us, I think, exactly. It's the saying.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We'll always bring more.
Exactly, yeah. We'd have taken more. But I'm not there. Right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.